Two investors can put away the exact same $708 every single month, get the exact same market returns, but one ends up with $200,000 more and retires years earlier. The only difference, where they put their money. And I'm going to show you exactly which accounts make you wealthy faster and which ones keep you trapped at your desk longer than you need to be. When you invest just $708 per month into a regular brokerage account, and you do that for your entire life, well, working life, 30 years, you're putting in $254,888 of your own money. And if we use historical S&P 500 returns, that grows to about $863,000. It's just the magic of the market doing its thing. To make this video even more valuable for you, I'm also going to give you a workbook, a guidebook that walks you through all of these steps and that you can download for free at felixprehn.org/resource. It's in our private free community. Grab this free workbook and then you can work through it. And that way you really understand how this applies to you, how this changes your life, so you get the most out of it. When you go and sell and actually use that money in retirement, the IRS knocks on your door and says, hello there, I know you've made all this money, we'd like some of it. 15% in capital gains taxes. That's about $91,000. I'm going to have to hit you over the head with a fair few numbers here. Apologies for that. So I'm going to take some notes or take some screenshots or just download the free workbook and you can actually follow along. Out of that 860,000, 91,000, poof, gone, right? Gone to fund, I was going to say schools and roads, but it's more like debt. Interest on the interest on the interest of the government's extraordinary spending extravaganza to get themselves re-elected every couple of years. But politics aside, what's the better path? We're doing the same $708 per month. We're doing the same 30 years. But this time you're a little smarter. Because out of that money, you're going to put $583 into my favorite tax account, a Roth IRA. And then the other part, and I'm assuming here that you are gainfully employed, you're going to put $125 into a 401k, up to the level that your employer matches it. Just by splitting it between a tax-advantaged account, collecting a little bit of free money from your boss, you're going to end up with over $1 million. And remember, both of these investors saved the same amount of money, they got the same market returns, the only difference was which accounts they used. That's it. It's one simple decision. It's repeated consistently. It does change everything. Now, I should add here, I am not a tax attorney, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a licensed anything other than, perhaps a licensed hiker. If that was a thing that they would ever license, talk to your tax advisor or whatever you use. Because I can't give you specific advice, but I can just open your eyes to what is out there by doing the same thing and just collecting some free money. Going back to that free money, the employer match I mentioned, right? Every single month, you put into the bucket $125 and your employer, out of the goodness of his heart, does the same thing because he's legally obligated to do that. So this is literally a free, instant, 100% gain on that investment. So show me any investment that legally guarantees you double your money immediately. Well, you can't, right? It doesn't exist anywhere else. And if you do find one, please report them to the FTC. It's likely a scam. So that match contribution, that part alone grows to about $300,000. That's money you would never have had if you just thrown everything into your brokerage account. It's literally sitting on the table and most people just walk right past it. It's like you see a $100 bill on the floor and you're like, I can't be bothered to pick that up. And you do it every single month. People think the tax-free thing is like, yeah, it's kind of okay. But look, taxes are only 15%. It's not that bad, is it? But here is what most people don't understand. you're not paying 15% on your contributions. You're paying 15% tax on all your gains. And when your money compounds for 30 years, the gains are huge. You remember that we put in $708 per month, and that in itself will total up to about $254,000. Right, if I could put that right. Now, the actual tax you're going to pay at the end will be $91,000. So that tax is not 15%. Right? $91,000 out of $254,000 is how much? It's a 36% tax. You're paying 36% tax because of the gains that are just generously compounded. It is actually even more than that, because the 91K that you are losing to the tax office, it's money that could have kept compounding, could have kept growing if you had left it in a tax-free account. Think about it. $91,000 at the beginning of your retirement. If you leave that invested for, say, just 10 years, and all you're getting is 7%, which is way below what the market's on average, how much money does that become? Google compound interest and Goat Academy, which is our website, and then you'll find a compound calculator. But I'll tell you, that becomes $179,000. So now this is like an 80% tax after 10 years. You keep going, this becomes a tremendous task. So the real cost of doing nothing and just going, oh, I'll think about it later because this is Roth stuff and IRS is a bit complicated, can't be bothered to talk to a tax consultant. Well, it's going to cost you like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the beauty of a Roth IRA is simple. Yes, you pay tax on your income that you put into it, but all the gains after that are yours to keep. And the gains will be tremendously larger than what you put in over a long period of time. And you plan to live a long life, don't you? So there it is, there's a long period of time. And then from age 59 and a half onwards, no idea how they came up with a half, some weird guy there at the IRS. From age 59 and a half, you can withdraw from your Roth IRA tax-free. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? See, my voice went up. That's how exciting that is. No forms, no calculations, no how long did I hold it for, none of that. You can just spend it. It's just a tax-free account. So to summarize how stupidly simple this really is, you need two accounts. You need a Roth IRA, you need a 401k. Every month, you want to max out your Roth IRA. In our example here, it's $583. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, any major brokerages will give you one. It takes you 15 minutes. You can do it online. And then inside the Roth IRA, in my humble opinion, you just put it into a really low-cost index fund. S&P 500 will do fine, and you're good. Life's easy, right? And then you put the extra $125 in our example here into the 401k or whatever amount gets you to your full employer match. You're going to want to max that out. Don't go beyond it because they're not brilliant instruments, these 401ks. You know, and what our employer matches, it's 50% up to 6% of your salary. Sometimes it's 100% up to 3% of your salary. It varies. Just talk to your employer. Talk to HR, right? They surely have to do something useful occasionally. And then what do you do inside that account? You do the same thing as the other account. Keep it simple, right? Keep it really simple. Something like VU or something like that. One of those low-cost ETFs. If you want to dabble in some individual stocks, you can do that, but you need to be educated on that subject first, I would argue, otherwise you're probably going to underperform the market. The S&P has since 1926 given us 10% per year on average. And literally, there's a comment in one of my YouTube videos from last week, and someone said, oh, to get 10% is really hard. I'm not saying that past performance guarantees future performance, obviously. But since 1926, I believe, it's been 10%. So it's actually been insanely easy. All you had to do was do the simple thing. So don't pay the fund managers 1 or 2% to underperform the market. That's definitely not worth it. What happens when you actually want to withdraw money? Say you are now 59 and a half. How do we withdraw our money? I think people have this fear that they're going to burn through the money. Don't cash out everything when you retire. Withdraw what you need each year. Ideally, and this is the rule of 4%, ideally you withdraw 4% of your portfolio a year. And it means that your money keeps compounding, your portfolio will keep growing, even though you are living off 4%. So say you have the $1 million in those accounts, you can withdraw $40,000 a year and your account will keep going up. It won't just last until you die, it'll last forever after, and it'll be a tremendous nest egg for your offspring or wherever you leave your money. Now again, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not telling you what to do specifically, I'm just giving you the basis of your research here. But if you do this and you do this right, and if you're a higher income person, you might be thinking, what do I do with the rest of the money? Have a look into this little concept here. We're not going to walk through that here, but make the video just too long. But there is something called backdoor Roth IRAs. And there's a backdoor conversion to get a lot more money into the Roth IRA. There's a chap called Peter Thiel. He's a PayPal founder. He's a Palantir co-founder and so on. I believe he's got about $12 billion inside of his Roth IRA. So there is actually no limit to it. You just have to understand a little bit, be smart about it. You might want to get some tax advice on that. Something to look into if you are higher income. If you got some value out of this, if you think your children can get some value out of this, people you know, people you work with, anybody, forward it to them. Send it to as many people as you possibly can, because it literally is like winning the lottery. It's literally like giving people an extra $200,000 for free. No work. Download the guidebook, the workbook at felixprehn.org/resource. Links down below in the description. And I wish you a beautiful life.